What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Oh, happy Monday, everybody. We are up in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, dropping off a small direct customer load that I picked up on Friday. It is cold and rainy. I think they're calling for some snow. I think the rain's supposed to turn into some snow here later. So we are going to get untarped and unstrapped, see if we can hurry up and get loaded or unloaded so that I can get out of here before the snow comes. So I will get that done and I will be back with y'all. All right, guys, so we got untarped and unstrapped. Had to wait a little bit for somebody to move out the way, but now we're gonna go ahead and get unloaded and get on up out of here. Got our load dropped off up there in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, and started headed back to grab our next one. And the rain turned into snow. Snowing pretty good, but it's not sticking to the roads yet. Sticking to the grass and everything, and you know, making your windshield kind of icy, but not sticking to the roads yet, thank goodness, because I hate driving in the snow. Not so much because I don't like driving in the snow, I don't like driving with other people in the snow. Especially, you know, when the ground starts getting covered and everybody's still trying to run 85 miles an hour. It makes me a little uneasy sometimes. So stopped here at Love's in Carlisle to get some fuel, and we're all fueled up, and we're gonna go ahead and head to the next one. I'll catch y'all there. So made it back to the yard. I was supposed to go pick up from a direct customer of mine for a 2-stop load tomorrow, but the customer overbooked or overscheduled some trucks to load today, so they asked if I could load in the morning instead. So I said, yeah, that's fine. So instead of loading today, I'll do a load and go tomorrow, and that's got 2 stops, one in Virginia and one in Maryland. And then I got to turn right back around, go back to that same direct customer and get reloaded for Wednesday. I was kind of hoping to get loaded today, that way I could hit it early in the morning and be back at a good time to get reloaded, but you know, it is what it is. So got out of the snow, got out of the rain. It's just wet here at the yard now. It's not doing anything, so that's good. So I don't have, you know, the rest of loading the video or getting loaded at my other direct. So figured I'd talk a little more about, so it's not a short video, figured I'd talk about, you know, operating some older equipment in Hotshot, because you see a lot of guys getting into the business, and gals getting into the business, and first thing they do is they go out and they buy a brand new truck and they buy a brand new trailer. Now that's all fine and dandy. You know, I'm not the type to tell somebody else how to run their business. But for me, it just, you know, it wasn't for me. I thought about it at first, but, you know, I wanted to keep my overhead low, as anybody in business should want to do. Everybody should want to be keeping their expenses as low as possible to make, you know, a better profit. So instead, I took the truck that I had and turned it into a dually and bought a used trailer. So far it's worked great. You know, like I said in one of my, I think it was my intro video, truck's got about 325,000 miles on it. Only thing I've done other than replacing the clutch is replacing the trans, and that went out about 275,000 miles. So I couldn't complain about, you know, getting that many miles out of the stock transmission at all, especially when the majority of those miles were, you know, towing miles. And then trailer wise, haven't had any issues. You know, I replaced the deck when I first got it. And that's it, you know, other than regular maintenance and you know, brakes, because it is electric brakes. So, you know, I've replaced the brakes once or twice, and every once in a while, you know, you gotta replace some electrical connectors because they break and things like that. So all in all, operating some older, you know, equipment hasn't been terrible to me. You know, it's just a couple things to think about, you know, when you're trying to get into this business and you're looking at equipment. You always, like I said, want to keep your overhead as low as possible. You know, you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you go out and you buy a brand new truck, you know, and you know, you deck it out and you got leather seats and heated and cooled seats and the whole kit and caboodle, all the bells and whistles, you know, and now you got a $90,000+ truck. You know, if you're not paying cash for it, you know, you're taking out a loan on it, and you know, it's 6-year note. You know, that's a payment for 6 years that you got to make, and that you got to make sure you make. You know, because if you don't make that payment and they come take the truck, then there goes your business. You know, if you're not doubling or tripling up on payments to kind of get that truck paid off early, another thing you got to think about, you know, is the depreciation of the vehicle. You know, because if you're stretching that 6 years out, or you know, 5 years out, however long your bank note is for that truck, you know, and you're going over the road, you might put, you know, 500-600, maybe even more, 1,000 miles on that truck in the 5-6 years that you have it. Now it's time to get another one, you know, and you go to replace that vehicle, and you might not have a bunch of money saved up. Hopefully you do. But if you don't, you know, you might not get a lot of money on that trade-in on the vehicle because of such high mileage and, you know, it being used for towing. So then, you know, you're stuck. You might have, and if the vehicle's not paid off yet and you want to trade it in, you know, you got negative equity to roll up into the next one, and then that makes your payment higher. You know, so that's one thing to think about when buying new equipment. That's not just a truck, that's a trailer also. Now, I know trailers aren't as expensive as what new trucks are, you know, but you can find yourself in the same situations. Some people like to get brand new stuff because they say, well, it comes with a warranty. And I'm not knocking that whatsoever. Warranties are great. But one thing you have to remember about a warranty is you're relying on the dealership to do the warranty work. You know, you're relying on the dealership to validate your warranty claim. You know, I know a couple guys with the 2020 Rams. You know, they're having problems with this CP4. And, you know, some guys may say, well, you know, I got a little money saved up. I'll just go ahead and get an aftermarket conversion to a CP3. That's fine and dandy, but that might void your warranty. And then it's like, you know, you got this brand new vehicle with no warranty because it's been voided. If you decide to go the CP4 route, you know, get that fixed. I mean, I know guys that have been down for a number of months waiting on their truck to get fixed with this CP4 issue, just because, you know, FCA doesn't have the parts. And that's another thing you have to realize with these newer trucks also, is there's so much that goes into these newer trucks, you know, so much more in the electronics and the emission systems and the things like that. You know, and those parts might not be readily available. So even though you have a warranty and you don't have to pay to get that thing fixed because it's under warranty, how long are you going to be down waiting on that warranty claim? You know, and heaven forbid that they don't even validate that warranty claim, and now you got to come out of pocket to get that vehicle fixed. You know, so now you got a truck payment on top of having a pretty big, you know, repair bill. And then you start to wonder, is that warranty really worth it? You know, I'm not saying warranties are bad by no means. It's just one of those things you got to kind of weigh your options with as far as getting them fixed in a timely manner to get back on the road. You know, because if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. So, you know, if your truck's sitting for 4 months because you're waiting on a warranty claim to get fixed, you know, you're not making any money in those 4 months if you're not on the road. You know, you might have a backup truck and maybe that helps out a little bit. But you know, who also wants to make a payment on a vehicle that ain't making them no money? You know, that just doesn't make any sense, you know, to have a vehicle that you're paying for and, you know, payment wise, and it's sitting in the shop, and then plus it's costing you money, but it's not earning you any money. You know, and the name of this business is, you know, keeping that truck on the road so you can turn a profit. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're doing, you know, your research and getting in the business and thinking about buying new equipment versus used equipment. You know, that same catch-22 could be said for used equipment. You know, you could buy a decent used truck and it turned out to be a lemon. You know, it might not have no warranty, and as soon as you put it on the road and hook up to your first load, you know, might blow the motor or something, you know, catastrophic like that. And now you got to come out of pocket because there is no warranty. You know, so it's a lot of things to think about when buying and purchasing equipment. You know, and there's no really right or wrong answer. It all boils down to what works for you, what you can afford, and things like that. You know, but just be mindful when you're purchasing that equipment, what's going to work best for you. You know, is a used vehicle going to work better because the upfront cost isn't as much as what, you know, a brand new vehicle would cost, or is, you know, a warranty the most important thing to you? If a warranty is the most important thing to you, you know, you might have to break down and buy a new vehicle, or find a, you know, certified pre-owned or something that comes with a pretty decent warranty. But you know, I just don't want you guys to get caught up in the whole warranty deal, because there's a lot of guys out here right now that are struggling and have no way to make any money for their business because their truck is down waiting on a part from, you know, from a warranty claim. So, you know, operating older equipment has worked pretty good for me these last couple years. You know, I haven't had any issues, but sometimes operating older equipment comes down to the luck of the draw. But, you know, just when you're doing your research and getting into the business, you know, don't try to get ahead of yourself, and don't put yourself in a bad situation to where, you know, you have to run a load to make a truck payment, or you have to run this load to make a trailer payment. You know, you don't want to get yourself in a situation where you're out here running dollar-a-mile loads, tearing up your equipment just because you got to make a payment. You know, you don't want to get stuck in that type of situation, you know, because at the end of the day, you want to turn a profit. And if you're only running to pay your truck payment or to pay your trailer payment, you know, that might not be such good business practices. You know, maybe some people it might work for them because they have something else to fall back on, and they can kind of just coast in the business for a while until things are paid off, and then now they're turning a profit because they don't have a payment. But, you know, just don't get yourself caught up in being over your head because you got to have new equipment. You know, it's not always about having the newest and the shiniest things. Sometimes the older things get the job done just as well, if not better. You know, I have not had one single complaint about my truck, which is a 2007, or my trailer, which is a 2010. It gets the job done just like a 2020, you know, truck and trailer. It does the same exact thing. You know, my weight capacity might be a little less because, you know, my trailer doesn't have, you know, the high 16,000 pound axles like you can get in some of these newer trailers. You know, in 2010, those type of axles really weren't used. You know, you had a 10,000 pound axle, maybe max 12,000 pound axle. So, you know, I might lose a little bit there, you know, as far as weight hauling capacity. And the same with the truck. You know, the truck doesn't have the horsepower and the torque rating that the new trucks have. But, you know, you can make just as good a living with the horsepower and the torque that I have now, and, you know, the 10,000 pound axles that I have on my trailer. So I just want to, you know, get a video out there that wasn't 2 minutes long, just showing you my drop off this morning. So I figured I'd talk about something else real quick. And if you guys have any more questions, you know, anything else you want me to go over, please feel free to write your comment down below asking that question. And, you know, I do read the comments, so I will get back to you, try to make a video and address those questions. You know, so please do so. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And as always, stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.